Hey everybody, welcome back to the Love Farm video channel. Today I'm continuing a series that we're calling Homestead Hacks. This is going to be Homestead Hacks number 3. And today I'm going to talk a bit about a really simple way to automate your homestead. There's some really simple, really helpful automations and some things that are out now that really allow us to do this easily. So let me grab something and show you what I'm talking about. This is a smart plug, and before you totally give up on me here and switch the channel, so to speak, there's a lot more you can do with a smart plug than just turning lights on and off. So let me go through some of those things. So you can see the light behind me is controlled by the smart plug. I can turn it on and off through the app on my phone, which is handy, but that might seem like, pretty limited usability. Well, one additional feature to that is that I can do that remotely. I can do that from any location that I have any kind of internet connection. I can switch this light on and off from anywhere in the world. But it goes a lot deeper than that. One of the big benefits is all the different ways that you can control it through automation or through an if this then that function. So here's just a few parameters that you can use with that if this then that function. We can do it based on temperature. So think about maybe a heat lamp for your chickens, or a tank heater for your livestock, or even a heater in your pump house. Depending on the outside temperature, you can tell the plugs to turn on or off. So you can turn things on and off based on temperature, which can be really helpful. I'm sure there's countless more options than what I just mentioned, but that gives you a quick idea of where that might be useful. You can turn it on and off based on humidity. You can have it turn on and off based on given wind speed parameters. You can do it for precipitation. So think of an irrigation system. If you have an irrigation system that plugs into your electrical system to run, you can actually turn that off, especially if it's an old system that doesn't have some of these new automated options. You can tell it if there's going to be X amount of precipitation not to run for that day. So that can be really helpful. And then you have sunrise, sunset parameters, which allow you to, again, for say it's chickens, if you want their coop door to open during the daytime and close at night, you can set those parameters. Or if you want a light that turns on specifically at night or an hour after dusk, or whatever your parameter is, you're able to set that and allow that light to function during that time. One other parameter is location. So you can do this based on where you are. If you want to give it access to that on your phone, you could say, when I leave and then come back, when I arrive back at home, turn on all the exterior lights. So then you, instead of having to walk through the dark or try and fumble around till you find a switch, it will automatically turn it on when you arrive home. Or you could say, when I leave, turn on lights. Or when I leave, turn on the electric fence. So those are one side or one aspect of the parameters that you could set up to automatically turn on when you leave or when you get somewhere. But the other thing that most of these have is a Bluetooth option. So if you're within range of the Bluetooth, you can tell it to turn something on or off. So say you have your barn and a switch is not easily accessible, but you want to be able to go out there at night. And when you go out there, instead of fumbling around with your phone or trying to do it before you go out, your phone will automatically connect to that smart plug and turn on the lights when you get out there. So those are all the different parameters, or if this then that settings that you can set up on your phone or for these switches. Here are some of the things that I've thought of other than lights that you can set up on this automated system. So one would be a tank heater. Obviously you'd use the temperature parameters for that. An electric fence. Now you may not need an electric fence when you're gone, but when you're home, but when you're gone, you might want that turned on. So again, you can do that based on location. You could do it based on time of day. Say you might have chickens that you've got an electric fence around to keep predators out, but you're not really that concerned about it during the daytime, or you might be handling it during the daytime and you want it turned off. But at night, when predators could get in, you may want it turned on. So you could do it based on sunrise, sunset, or just based on time of day. So that's one example of where an electric fence could be controlled with this. Heaters. So this could be heat lamps in your chicken coop. You may want to turn on your heat lamp, say when it gets to 20 degrees or 15 degrees. You have the heat lamp automatically turn on in your chicken coop. Say anytime it's below freezing, you can have the heater turn on in your watering tank or bucket or whatever you're keeping for your chickens or your other livestock. Irrigation systems, I mentioned that briefly, I think, where you can turn off your irrigation if there's going to be rain or if there has been rain recently and you don't want it. Chicken lights for egg production. So again, the time parameters of actually having the sunset, sunrise be something that's built into the app instead of having to change that as the length of the days change. You can do grow lights. So if you want to set a given hours of the day where grow lights are on or off and you want to adjust that over time, you can do that with one of these systems. You can actually have very carefully controlled grow lights, which is really, really helpful, especially when you're trying to get plants ready to be transplanted and put into the garden. There's a lot of things where you may want to adjust the amount of hours that the lights are on. And with this system, you don't have the complex manual timers that can be a major pain, or if power goes out with those timers, they don't come back on the right time schedule because they're manual, so they come back on wherever they left off. Whereas these automated smart plugs will go back into the same cycle that they were in, so they'll turn on and off at the correct times of day still. Another one is you can tie all of these together. So say you wanted all of your lights on the outside to be able to come on at once. You could tie them all together so you click one button and your entire outdoor lighting array comes on. So throughout your entire homestead or farm, your outdoor security lights, your barn lights, your shed lights, everything can be programmed to come on at the same time with one button. So you can make groups so that they all come on for that. This is great for security. It's great for seeing what's going on. Maybe your dogs wake you up barking at something and you want to see what's out there. It makes for a really easy way just to turn on all the lights at once and see what might be going on. So obviously you have your outdoor lights, you have your indoor lights. Another nice thing about groups is you could say turn your indoor lights on for the path to bathroom at night if you don't have one in your bedroom. It may be nice to be able to have multiple lights in a row to wherever your bathroom is or wherever you might need to get to at night. So you can automate all of these functions and set them all up separately, which is really, really handy. So I'd love to answer any questions you have, any additional insights you have about, I'd love to see what you have to say about other things that you may have used these for. I do want to cover one more thing, and if you've already got a wireless network and feel like it's good enough, you can tune this out now, but I want to talk a little bit about wireless networking because these devices need a wireless network to connect to. Now, they can go quite a bit further than your phone will and still have a decent connection. So keep that in mind. You don't have to have a really strong Wi-Fi connection. However, on a homestead, there's going to oftentimes be places where you don't have any Wi-Fi. And what I have found to be the best option for that and the best remedy for that, and I've done this on multiple homesteads, farms that I've helped out with, and on my own place, is to use something called a mesh Wi-Fi system. Now, there's lots of options out there. Linksys probably makes what I think is one of the best. Otherwise, Orbi, or I think it's Netgear makes Orbi, which is quite good. There's TPLink decos, which are also pretty good and a little less expensive than those other two options. But what they allow you to do is put multiple mesh Wi-Fi systems in your house, and they connect to each other and they auto hand off. So if you've got, say, like a Wi-Fi extender, it does a similar thing, but Wi-Fi extenders have issues with handing off when you walk between where they are on one side and where your original router was on the other side. So these systems deal with that issue that extenders initially had. So using a mesh Wi-Fi system, you can put in, I think, up to 20 or 30 of these things. Not that I would suggest that, but you can. So you can they talk amongst each other from one to the next. And so you can make this essentially daisy chained where you have your original router, one of your satellites, and then you can have another satellite, and then you can have another satellite. So you can and these satellites can be 150 feet apart as long as they have essentially good line of sight. So you can blanket, like here at Love Farm, we've blanketed most of the farm with Wi-Fi doing this, and it's consistent, it's fast, and it allows us to use the automated systems. So those mesh Wi-Fi routers are a great way to go. I've mentioned 3, but there's, I think, dozens of other options out there as well. Definitely do your research and see what you think would work best for you. So that is it for this Homestead Hacks number 3. We'll be back with some more soon. I have some more ideas on things to bring to you that are a little bit outside the norm, a little bit of a life hack for the homestead. So keep following us at Love Farm TN or Love Farm Tennessee on pretty much all the major platforms, as well as we're now on Odyssey, odyssey.com at Love Farm TN. And we're going to have a MeWe site soon, so keep an eye out for that.